Hey everybody, Manny Telebear here. We're now on day 102 of the seven-figure climb, and in this video, we're going to talk about some things that you can do to increase your close rate when you're selling, coaching, or consulting. Whether you're just starting out selling 500, for selling for $500 one-on-one, or whether you're selling higher ticket. I'm just going to give you some things to think about that will help you to increase that close percentage or get more people to move forward with you. And that's the reason I did the previous video and went through my strategy sessions questions again and kind of gave you some insights, is because I want you to see what the process looks like when I do it. There's a lot of ways you can do this. There's more than one way to be right. If you're selling a high ticket offer, you're probably going to have closers. You're probably going to be selling a group solution or a group coaching solution, which is fine. But these are some of the things you need to think about when you're getting your information or your offer in front of people. And so the first thing that you need to think about is the size of the problem you're solving. The size of your problem, the problem you're solving, needs to be very, very big. We are solving very large problems. We're getting paid accordingly for it. The bigger the problem is, the longer they've been in the pain, the more easy it is to sell. And so the first thing that you always want to be thinking about is you want to be solving a very large problem in the marketplace. The next thing you need to think about and make sure you identify and take a look at is how long they've been having this problem. How long have they been in pain? Have they been in pain 5 minutes? Have they been in pain 2 years? The longer they have been in that pain, the more likely they're going to be looking for a solution. And so what we're looking for is we're looking for people who are in emergency room pain and want help. When people are in emergency room pain and want help, they're a lot more likely to move forward with you. There's not going to be price resistance. They aren't going to be shopping around for a solution. If they find someone who can solve their problem and they believe that you can solve it, they're probably way more likely to move forward with you. Now, when they're not in emergency room help and you don't set everything up, you get a lot of price resistance. You get a lot of questions and people trying to negotiate. But if a person walks into an emergency room and they've got a cut on their arm, they're not likely to try to negotiate the price, and they're not going to be asking a lot of questions. They're basically wanting the solution, and what they don't do is they don't say, I'm just getting some ideas. I want you to tell me what you think, and I'm going to go to the next hospital and see what they think. And so you can close very, very high. Competition is not your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is the voice in your head for the most part. Your biggest problem is not getting enough people qualified or pre-qualified in front of you on the call. And I think that's extremely valuable. And so, like I said, one of the things that you do want to actually address and look at is how long they've been in this pain. So person's at 200,000, they want to be at 1 million. And this is their second year in business. They're not really in pain because they haven't been stuck that long. But if they're at 200,000 and they've been stuck at 200,000 for 3 years, they're in pain because they really want to be at the million and they're not able to move. And the longer they've been stuck there, the more pain they're in and the more likely they are to move forward with you. Now, the next thing that you need to think about is the success rate of the solution that you're providing. And are you showing them a lot of demonstrations of people who have bought your solution and moved forward and done really, really well? And you need a few stories. You need a few stories that you can tell about clients you've worked with. You need to constantly be seeding that in. And the more success stories you have, the better. You want to use that for social proof. You want to put that everywhere. You can't have too many of those. It's extremely important. And then the next thing you want to think about there that goes right along with that is how likely are they to have success with the solution? Because unless you're closing it, unless you're solving the problem 100% of the time for everyone, you got to know that in their mind, they're still leery. I understand this worked for other people, but can it work for me? And so you need to address that as well. And it's extremely important. Like you need to like do everything that you can to show them not only is your success rate very high and you work with a lot of people that move forward, that if they move forward, they can have that same success rate. But like I said, you need to think about that as well and keep that in the back of your mind when if you're doing the calls yourself. And the next thing you need to think about is how long the solution will take. So speed of implementation, how quickly will they be out of this pain? It's a very, very big motivator. It's interesting. You see a lot of people who say, we help people scale from 0 to 50 clients in 90 days or less, or 30 days or less. And for a long time, it was kind of a joke, because every person selling in the coaching space would say, we help people scale to $100,000 in 60 days or less, 90 days or less. But that message is very magnetic to people who want to scale to that number. So that's what you want to think about. And so you do want to have success stories about how long it takes. You want them to be also cognizant of how long it's going to take. And how long it's going to take is a indicator as to whether they'll move forward. The faster it's going to happen, the more likely they are to move forward. The slower it's going to happen, the less likely they are to move forward. And the next thing you want to think about, and I didn't write this one down, there's a couple of other things that you also want to think about. And one of those is you went through all of this stuff, and you've had these conversations with these people, but what you want to do now is determine, are they a fit? And like I said, and we went over that in the previous call, are they a fit? Is this person likely to move forward? Are they likely to do the work? And this is the other thing, how much actual work they will be doing. And so I kind of lost my train of thought there a little bit, but what you want to think about here is, you got a customized solution for someone. It's going to take a certain amount of time. And then how much of the work do they have to do? And that's going to also determine how your close rate will be, how many people will move forward. And so if you're giving them, so the more stuff that you're doing for them, so if you're giving them scripts and if you're giving them scripts and you're creating their landing pages and their offer pages, and you're creating their Facebook ads, like the more of it you're doing for them or giving them that's done, the less they have to do. Because when someone is at 200,000 and they want to scale to 1 million, they equate that with doing a lot more stuff, and it's not necessarily the case. A lot of times, technically, they're going to do less stuff. And what's interesting is you can have that conversation with them, that the problem is that what they need is they need systemizations in place that bring in leads that more likely convert automatically, and you're going to help them set that up or something to that effect. But that's what it looks like. And like I said, the last thing that you want to think about there is how much of the actual work are they doing. And like I said, the less of the work they're doing, the more likely they are to move forward. The more of the work they're doing, the less likely they are to move forward. And so when you're having the conversation, or your closers are having that conversation, you need to tell them, you basically need to say it's going to be less work, not more work. And also, once the systems are created and optimized, even if they do have a little more work at the beginning, once those systems are optimized and in place, they're going to be hands off, and they're going to get their time freedom back. And you want to think about that as well. But I thought we would go over that here. But I appreciate you all watching. We'll see you on the next video, and thanks a lot.